especially things that I do, executive and leadership coaching, they're making it relevant to one person is the key, really. So I used to, sometimes I still do, use a format. It's the 5-dimensional leadership framework. Um, some of you might have heard of it. This is not a new concept, it's old. 5 dimensions of leadership. So the first dimension, it starts with the personal dimension or the self dimension, where your own knowledge about yourself and your self-management and your discipline and so on, all that is concerned. That's the first level, personal leadership or self-leadership. Second one, I have a diagram which I present to them. It's a pyramid kind of. And the second is the team, team dimension of the executive's job and his effectiveness. The team dimension, obviously, as the name says, is that this person is dealing with a team of people and how effective he or she is in integrating the team, in motivating them, in looking after them, the care and growth model kind of a thing. So that is the team dimension. Third dimension is the process dimension. The person's technical skills and technical skills at the job and how effective and he can perform in his situation. The fourth dimension is the results dimension, where if the person is looking after profit and loss or is looking after a department which has key performance indicators, so how effectively is the person performing in those areas? And those can be measured. That's the fourth. And the last dimension is the organizational dimension, where a very senior leader has to provide a vision, and he not just adapts, but initiates change, as they say. And he is also in charge of looking after the various stakeholders, including the client and the law, the legal requirements. So these are 5 dimensions. And I go through in the first meeting with the client. Well, you're familiar with all this. You are a senior leader. So one by one, we discuss it. And if there is some clarity required, there's clarity given. And then I ask, where do you think you need to focus your attention in this coaching? So the person reflects, I let in some thinking time, and then gradually we come up with where the requirement is. And interestingly, with senior leaders, what I find the attention where it is required is in 3 areas. First and foremost is the personal dimension. Because the person has reached a certain level, the senior leader or senior coach, and all his life, he's been busy like hell. And he's been performing and he's been promoted. And he doesn't have had time to focus on how he's behaving. So that comes as a surprise to me. And the second one is team dimension also, because at some stage, he moved from an individual contributor to an executive or manager's position. And there, he or she did not get the training and the grooming in the skill of managing their teams. That still becomes a little weakness when they grow up. And then finally, they are very well, as Fakir, you also said, in what they do, they are very skilled already. So they rarely pick that area. And if they are in charge of profit loss or whatever, they are pretty well organized in that area also. The highest area is the organizational dimension, where you provide a vision, where you manage all the stakeholders, and where you foresee where changes are coming, and you let the team become ready for those changes. So these 3 areas are where usually I find executives putting in their attention. So this, to me, is a good start. And we start from there, and then we go into it a little deeper. My first session always is a life story session. And I asked the person, I asked the client to start from childhood, not very early, schooling onwards. Now, what are the significant events in your life going forward? And they are telling the story. And it's a very effective way if you want to experiment. You know, while telling the story, they remember all their past. Some of them become emotional also. This is where my father helped me, uh, move into this direction, which I'm so happy about. And I take notes. I keep noting the significant events which are mentioned. They
Mm,
also become part of the jigsaw puzzle, which I put together to find out what the requirement is.
mm.
And I don't make judgments on the requirement myself. I keep discussing. And once we agree, this is where we need to focus upon, then we move forward.